Next up in our reviews tonight, Jeff is going to talk about Dark Souls 2.
Dark Souls 2.
Dark Souls.
It's the best game ever, and everyone should go play it. No, but seriously, if you're a fan of the first game or a fan of Demon Souls, there's really nothing to complain about. If you're new to the series, you don't really have to play the first two games to really get into this one because they're all only loosely connected with references to the different worlds that they're in, but they're all their own standalone games. To start it off, we'll talk about graphics. Compared to obviously with the new systems, PS4 and Xbox One come out, this game doesn't touch what those games are putting out right now. But as far as the current or last gen systems, the game looks great. Obviously not the highest poly count compared to like something like Last of Us or again the next gen games, but it has a really good art style, lots of big open worlds, a lot of variety in everywhere you go to, from like deep dark caves, undead crypts, to then you're in a big bright mountainous region with dragons flying over there. What's that, Tom?
I said, ooh, caves.
Yeah, caves. It's very scary. But really nothing to complain about. The first game had some frame rate issues in certain parts. This one kind of smoothed it out. I didn't really have any problems with the frame rate chugging, or it was all smooth, pretty much 30 frames per second the whole time, which served perfectly for this game.
30? Come on. I want to see 60.
60, you need 120 nowadays.
Yeah, I want 120. Yeah,
That's
Xander knows what I'm
3D.
talking about. I want this game chugging maximum gigabytes.
Yeah, well, there's some gigabytes chugged in this. Maybe not enough for your taste, but
last gen chugging. I might as well put the game in a microwave.
Just to be clear, Tom's computer is from 7 years ago and can't play a game at all except maybe Tetris.
I was playing Diablo 2 a month ago, so
Yeah, I bet.
whatever.
On somebody else's machine.
Well, that sounds about right based on what we're seeing here.
How many boss battles are in here?
there are about 30, maybe a little over 30 boss battles. Not all of them required. There's a bunch of optional bosses, and they will all pretty much, for the most part, kick the crap out of you, at least in the first fight. I'll address that in a second. I just want to talk about the sound real quick, too. Again, this is, if you're new to the gameplay, to this game, the sound is awesome. It has a good atmospheric sound. The orchestra, soundtrack doesn't really, it's more of a more background. Some of the boss battles, the music picks up a little bit, but it's more about the ambiance that the sound effects create when you're going through the different areas. Let's just jump over to gameplay. I mean, this is really where this game gets the gold.
Flourishes.
Yes, it flourishes. It's awesome.
Wow,
I mean,
that sounds great.
If you like action RPGs, I mean, there's a lot here. There's a variety of different builds that you can make your character, and you can go from everything from a pure mage to a fighting, a mage, rogue hybrid, or in my personal experience, I did something with a strength build where I was using giant two-handed swords, but also using the clerical type powers, the faith powers in the game. So I was throwing lots of godly lightning and smashing things with a giant club, and it's really satisfying. The combat has a real weighty feel to it, where each swing counts. But at the same time, if you miss a swing, you're toast. You're going to get killed fast, and that's one thing I got to stress about this game. It's one of my favorite games ever. The first one was, and this one's easily jumping up in the charts for me. But if you're not prepared for this difficulty, this game will chew you up and spit you out easily. I mean, you start the game, you go into the tutorial, 5 minutes later, you'll run into enemies that you're just not prepared for, and they will, annihilate you. So you got to be prepared for that. You got to take it slow, pay attention, and learn to block and dodge. And once you get that down, it's a really satisfying game. Just finding new loot to equip your character, upgrading your equipment, upgrading your character with different powers. It's great.
I know nothing about the series. Is there co-op to this?
There is.
Okay.
That's
what it looks like here.
They do have an online functionality, and if you see here, the co-op is you can't just. It's kind of a weird thing the way they do the co-op. You can't just summon people from your friends list. When you're in human form, which is you're an undead character in this game, and you use these items to turn you human, you'll get these glowing like little glowing marks on the ground, and you can summon players to assist you with bosses. You can also summon players to duel with, and players can just invade your game anytime to kill you. So you may be running to a boss battle, and I'm not making this up. I was running to a certain boss battle area, I was looking for something, and all of a sudden it tells you, your controller rumbles and the name pops up. Chad Thundercox has invaded your game. And
Sorry, but yeah, sorry I invaded your game.
yeah, thank you, Chad Thundercox. So
Yeah, sorry about that.
then you'll see something that looks like those white they're called phantoms. There'll be a red version of it that runs up, and you can try to duel them. I die a lot because I don't prepare myself for PvP in these situations, and there are people who'll play their characters specifically for player versus player. And that can happen at any time, but you can summon people to help you with bosses or against other players.
Now, how's like the story for the game?
It's minimalistic. There's not a lot there. There's
it's
There's a cutscene at the beginning, a cutscene at the end. There's little boss intros, and there's some dialogue with some of the NPCs that you run into, but it's not.
It's essentially all action, correct?
Correct. Yeah. I mean, there's a story there, and there's lore and like plot to the world, but you kind of have to find it for yourself. It's not force fed. I mean, the world is cool, and same thing with the past games. There's some interesting stuff going on, but you could literally play through this game and not know what's going on. Just, okay, I got to go here, kill this guy, get this item, equip that.
So it takes some imagination to really enjoy this game.
To enjoy the story, I guess you could say. The game itself is, I mean, it's
all about exploring.
Yeah, that's really what it comes down to. If you want like a meaty RPG with like a lot of stats to work with, lots of equipment, and just like exploring an unknown world, I mean, this is the game right here. I will say this is like one of the first games I played in a long time where I was just like each room I was like worried that this was going to be it.
Do you think this game or this series is better than like Elder Scrolls?
Yes.
Because I feel like the way you're describing it's a lot. Because I still haven't played I want to play the first one and this, so it looks interesting. But it's more about exploring.
These games, in my opinion, are some of the best series to come out in the last 10 years or so. This and The Witcher. My opinion on that. But
okay, Jeff, I have a question for you. If you were to compare this game to a culinary experience, how would you compare it?
Filet mignon, wrapped in bacon.
Beautiful.
Mwah. So with that being
Beautiful.
said, if we want to throw the score up there, this game easily is
A must-buy play?
must buy, must play.
Is it better than The Witcher? I gotta compare the two. Because you always tell me to play The Witcher, and I still haven't played it.
I'm not prepared to answer that question.
Oh, come on.
There's
All right,
Jeff, we want
Witcher
the truth.
1.
all right, no, because I like Witcher 1, Witcher 2 superior. Okay, if we're gonna say Witcher 2 compared to Dark Souls 2, I don't know. That's hard for me to say. If I want something with more story focus and like role playing with like interacting and choosing dialogue, that's The Witcher. But if I don't know, if I want combat and more customization of my character,
I like The Witcher a lot.
It's got to go to Dark
a lot
Souls.
more because that seems to be more narrative based than.
Oh yeah, this
Elder
game isn't
Scrolls.
narrative
So I
based
think
at all.
I prefer The Witcher.
Yeah, I mean, if you're looking for a more narrative approach to your games, yeah, The Witcher's where you'd want to go. But this is if you want a game where you can build up a character the way you want and play a game with extremely difficult combat, but that's rewarding once you finish something. I mean, this is it right there.
I mean, would you tell me it took you like 60 to 70 hours?
Gameplay was about going through a regular new game about 60 to 70 hours. That's not including new game plus because it just keeps going. You keep restarting it over and over again. It just gets harder and harder. But again, yes, this game rules. Must play, must buy.